Good morning, welcome back to the Adventures of Mac Anthea. In today's video we're going to be testing these new Continental Cross King tyres. So we're going to be fitting these tyres actually to my touring mountain bike rather than the downhill mountain bike you can see in the background. Keep an eye out for that, that's the basis for a new e-bike project, but we'll come back to that in later videos. For today we're going to be fitting these tyres to this touring e-bike. Okay, so we're currently running on this bicycle, these Schwalbe Black Jack tyres. They've done about 1,000 kilometres, a little bit more than that maybe. Still got pretty good treads on them and that. And, you know, for the most part, I'm pretty happy with these tyres. So why am I changing them? Well, I've had a repeated problem with these tyres that I can't seem to get over with it. And that's more on the back one here. And that's namely getting the tyre to align on the rim. I started out when I first fitted them, driving it down the road, and when I looked down sort of between my legs I could see that there was a wobble in the wheel as I was going along sort of at this point here. So I bought a wheel alignment tool, I realigned the wheel and it was sort of slightly buckling, it only sort of 0.3 of a millimetre, tried to tie back on it, still had quite an exaggerated wobble. So I went the full hog and bought a new back wheel. I thought, well, we'll try that. Still had a wobble on it, and then I finally come to the conclusion, actually it can't be the wheel at all, it's got to be the tyre. Now since then I've tried to realign this tyre several times. It's a little bit better but not much, and the last time I tried to realign it I noticed it actually on the rim sort of underneath here, the rubber's starting to degrade and come away. So I've got two choices basically: buy a new back tyre and risk having the same problem with the same make, you know, this Schwalbe Black Jack, or go for a completely different tyre and try something new, which is what I decided to do in the end. So these new tyres, these Continental Cross Kings, they're coming in on a 26-inch wheel and they're 2.3 inches wide. These other ones are 2.25. So yeah, I'm getting really close to you know, maximum clearance here in the gap here. Hopefully they're going to fit, we shall see. So basically we're going to be testing these tyres. We're going to test for ease of fitting, more importantly ease of alignment on the rim, and then we'll take them for a road test, see how they perform on the actual asphalt, and then down for a gravel test as well. Now if I spin you around and I'll look at these wheels, first thing I notice, there is sort of a marker here, but there's not a particularly pronounced rim bead, you know, to give you a good visual reference as to how well aligned the tyre is. In future, you know, if you're a tyre manufacturer out there and you know you're watching this, it'd be nice to have a more pronounced bead around here, so it's easy to see whether the actual tyre is aligned on the wheel, you know, as it should be. Okay, so I think we can get the front wheel off first. It's the easiest one, and we'll tackle that and see how we go on. So I suppose the first test is going to be ease of fitment to the wheel rim. Okay, so that's off fairly easily, a little bit too easy for my liking. I would have liked, I've always thought those tyres could have done with being a little bit more snug on the rim. Don't know if that's how modern tyres are on modern rims on bikes, but yeah, I would have liked to see them just a little bit harder to get on and off. But let's see what these new ones are like. Okay, so I'm going to take this in a tube out. I use these liners as well to try and stop punches. They're quite tough. Just an extra barrier, just in case, you know, for thorns and that sort of thing. I'll fit them into the new harness in a tube. These could be a bit of a pig to get in, so I won't film all of that. And then we'll go on to the next stage of actually fitting it to the rim. Okay, so I've got that inner tube loosely in there, in the actual anti-puncher strip in there as well. Now, to aid sort of fit in and to get to slip onto the rim a bit better, I'm going to use some neat washing up fluid just around the rim here, just so when I inflate it, it blows it straight out, hopefully onto the rim. Okay, so that's that on one side. The washing up liquid certainly didn't aid putting it on the rim, that's for sure. That made it harder work. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the other side of the tyre in and then put the washing up liquid on afterwards. Okay, so we're going to blow this tyre up now. I'm using the compressor. Obviously opinions of most things vary on this, whether you should do it quick and fast and get it you know, inflated, overinflated, or whether you should take your time and gradually, you know, work the tyre in. I think I'm going to take my time and gradually work the tyre in and inspect it as I go along. Okay, so that's right up to 60 psi, so well over pressure. I think what we'll do is we'll get the wheel aligning machine out here, give it a spin on that and see what it looks like. Okay, so we've got that up on the wheel alignment tool. Let's give that a spin and see what it looks like. Yeah, I don't know if that's got a very faint wobble, but it looks pretty good. Okay, so I think that went fairly well. It fitted quite easily. It is a little bit tighter going over the rim than the previous tyre, the Schwalbe Black Jack one. So yeah, it's certainly tighter on the rim there. And we'll take back what I previously said about the actual bead, you know, where you to look on the rim. I don't know if you're going to see it on the camera. I'll spin you around, but if you look carefully with a pair of glasses on, you can actually see it's quite defined, and you can actually see there's a little couple of millimetres between the bead sort of guide and the rim, and that was even all the way round. So yeah, it's better than the other tyre certainly, and you can, if you go, I need some glasses on and get up close, I can actually see that it's even all the way round. Another thing to watch out for on this tyre, it does have directional arrows, but you do have to look really close to find them. So yeah, be aware of that. That does need to go on a particular way of that tyre so that it rolls round in the correct direction. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do now, I normally have to de-inflate these tyres or deflate these tyres to actually get them back on the bicycle to clear the brake pads. I'm not going to risk that this time. I'm just going to set this tyre to the correct pressure. I'll take the brake pads off, fit the tyre and put the pads back on afterwards. So I'm not going to bore you with all that process. I'm going to do the back wheel as well. You've just seen it once with the front wheel, so I won't put you through that either. I'll get that done and then I'll bring you back in for the test ride. Okay, so that's the wheels on there, pretty good. It took longer to do the brakes than I actually did to get the wheels on properly. Yeah, the tyres look pretty nice. Thankfully we've got enough clearance. I don't know if you're going to see it from there, sort of in between here, just about. We've got about, yeah, 5 mil either side, but hey, that's all we need, you know. So yeah, the 2.3 fitted in just the same more or less as the 2.25 that was on before. Okay then, the wind's gone up, but I think nevertheless we'll go for a quick ride and test these tyres out. Okay, and we're off. Asphalt first. Well, everything seems pretty smooth. Slight bit of road noise, but that's to be expected with a wide trail tyre. Still got the annoying squeak in my seat I'm going to have to fix, I see. Just going to have a quick look down. I'm not going to be able to show you guys, but yeah, minimum wobble on that rear wheel at the base of the seat stem seat. Okay, so let's try it on some rough gravel trail. Looks like the machine's recently been by and smoothed all this one out. Anyway, still a good test. Okay, seems to be handling quite well, gripping quite well. So I'm just going to have a quick stop, just going to check that my axles are still tight and that, because I've just interfered with the wheels, and then we'll carry on. Okay, we're nice and smooth, we're going on rough trail, but we're doing about 35 kilometres an hour. So yeah, all pretty good. We've got a combination of gravel and some little patches of sort of sand, but not too deep, you know, not the horrible stuff that fetches you off, but yeah, still a pretty good test of the tyres. Okay, so the test ride went well, so I'm going to mark that down as a success. Off-road trailing, sort of rough gravel and sand, which is about the maximum this bike is actually designed for. The tyres performed well. I did about 35 kilometres an hour. They grip well, no slip even in sort of 2-inch deep sand. So no problems there. On the road, there wasn't a great deal of road noise, particularly, you know, it wasn't sort of annoying anyway. I got up to about 45 kilometres an hour on some tarmac and went around some sort of quite sharp tarmac bends. And there wasn't any really misbehaviour from the tyres, you know, they cornered well, they felt sure-footed. So yeah, equally as good, I'd say, on the road, you know, for the sort of riding I'm doing. Now, as for sort of a comparison, to be fair, the Schwalbe tyres, you know, have got 1200 kilometres on them now, I've just checked, and there's still plenty of tread on them. And when I fitted them, I wasn't aware of the problem of the tyres not aligning with the rim, and if I'd taken more care like I did with these, they probably would have been okay. So the damage that's which has been done to them, which I'll try and show you now. So I certainly wouldn't dismiss the Schwalbe tyres either, because I suspect it's probably a lack of knowledge and experience, you know, which led me to not fit them as well as I probably could if I'd taken more care, and that's probably what caused the damage. Now, as a comparison, I would say that the Continental Cross Kings are marginally better. The walls on them I thought were quite a bit thicker, so you know, side gouging from rocks and that, they get a bit more resistant to that. The bead is a bit more pronounced on them as well, so you can see the alignment a bit better on them also. Other than that, you'd be hard pushed to get a fag paper between the two of them. They're both, I would say, you know, pretty good tyres, but I would say, given the choice, the Continental Cross King is very slightly better. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope it's you know, been informative to you. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.